Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport and the very late review of the Monaco Grand Prix, which unfortunately was delayed along with all the Indy 500 videos I've done that haven't been uploaded yet because of issues beyond my control. We lost internet for a few days. Very, very annoying. And then just as we got the internet back, we had a power cut. And so the first opportunity I had to do anything was yesterday, but I was out with the kids all day. I know, poor work ethic, but it is half term. So today we are talking about the Monaco Grand Prix. Just 3 days late, it's not that bad. And it was tedious as all hell, which was sort of to be expected. But last year we looked at the Monaco Grand Prix and said, could it be saved? Or is it just too outdated to work in modern Formula 1? I'm going to flip that question around now, because we had, just about a month ago, a Formula E race at Monaco that was absolutely fantastic. Lots of overtaking, lots of action, kept you guessing all the way through. It was a 10 out of 10 race compared to what we had on Sunday. So it's Formula 1 that doesn't work. So how can we change Formula 1 so that it works at Monaco and therefore everywhere else as well? Firstly, the cars are too wide. Make them thinner. You need to get two cars alongside each other to overtake. Very difficult at Monaco. So the car's too big. Let's change that. Let's make the cars smaller. And then hopefully we can get a few more overtakes just because they have more space to do it. Secondly, as we saw in Formula E, they are less aerodynamically affected. So if they get damaged, they lose a front wing. Or even like bits of the side. Like you see Formula E cars with bits hanging off them all the time and they continue on just fine. We can do that in Formula 1 too. Get rid of the front rings that have like 400 little bits hanging off them and just change it to something simpler that doesn't affect the aerodynamics as much. So less, and I guess by an extension just have less downforce in general. That way, again, should help overtaking. The Monaco track itself is very difficult to change because it's in a very tight space. And you're talking about you'd have to demolish bits of Monaco to change it. Which for, you know, a 3-day event, it's not really worth it. I sort of look at the chicane after the tunnel and think, could something be done there to have a better overtaking spot? Because you have all that runoff behind it. It's a bit wider down there. I'm sure you could do something with that corner, but I know that would be very, very difficult. But I think those two things to start with would help Formula 1 at Monaco and therefore the rest of the calendar. There's a few other things as well. Get rid of DRS. It doesn't work. It would actually be better off with a similar system to IndyCar and the push to pass. I think that would work a lot better for Formula 1. More pit stops. I guess you could have Pirelli make tyres worse. I don't know if you really want to know that because I know there's a safety concern with that, but that too might help. Or refueling, just a reason to have more pit stops and a lot more different strategies. Again, at Monaco, when they're only making one pit stop for tyres, doesn't really add a lot of different strategy options. That does take away from the action because everyone can't overtake and they're on the same strategy, so that's it. As for the race itself, as I said, it was pretty dull. There was not a lot of action. The qualifying was a lot better than the race, and when that happens, you know things are bad. But I will say, those laps from Max Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, and even Esteban Ocon, they were incredible laps. And it was a very exciting Q3 in qualifying. That lap from Max Verstappen was A grade. He was right on the limit. Like, he was going against the barrier on the last corner. Just snuck in ahead of Fernando Alonso. It was a shame because I think it was 175 races since Fernando Alonso had a pole position. It's still an incredible job for him to get second and finish second. But Max Verstappen is just a level above everyone else right now. It's not just the car, he is incredible. I think Sergio Perez proves it's not just the car. Crash in qualifying, bad race, just couldn't overtake anyone. Being down the back of the grid at Monaco is always a massive handicap. But it just was not a great race for Sergio Perez. And Max, it was pretty much perfect, so you can't really take anything away from him. It was a 10 out of 10 drive in qualifying and a 10 out of 10 drive in the race. and it's been a 10 out of 10 season so far for him, really, because he's had 4 wins, 2 second places, he's well ahead of everyone else. It looks unlikely that anyone's going to catch him, but obviously we don't know that for sure. Red Bull could have some reliability issues, or he could just have a run of bad races. Things could change, but I think has to be a massive favourite Max Verstappen this year. As for everyone else, it wasn't that interesting a race, but Fernando Alonso in second did another fantastic job. Ferrari shot themselves in the foot multiple times again. I'm starting to think it wasn't Binotto. They shouldn't have sacked him. That's clearly not the problem. There is just something deeply wrong at Ferrari. And just this year especially, they have really, really hurt themselves. And Leclerc and Sainz aren't really even driving as well as they have in the past. They're 2 steady hands. They should be doing at least scoring points every race whilst not making mistakes. And yet every race they do seem to make a mistake or two. And it's not what I expect from them, but maybe confidence is low. Maybe the car's a bit unpredictable. There's just something wrong at Ferrari. And it's deeply concerning. And I know Lewis Hamilton has been linked to Ferrari, and we'll discuss that in a video later in the week because I've got a lot more to say about it. But this race highlighted a lot of concerns for Ferrari. As for Mercedes, their new upgrade really wasn't as special as we were led to believe. We probably wouldn't see the best of it at Monaco anyway, so we'll have to see in Spain this weekend. But it was a really average race from Mercedes. Russell made contact with Perez. Quite a lot of contact. I'm surprised both cars made it round afterwards, but it was still bad move. But in general, the Mercedes just look average. Esteban Ocon brought the Alpine home in third. Fantastic performance. Every time I think Esteban Ocon is a bit meh, he comes out with a performance and it's like, actually, this guy is pretty good. Same goes for Pierre Gasly, really, and he scored points as well, and it was a decent performance for him. A great weekend for Alpine, really. Beyond that, McLaren scored points, but lower end of the field, and they were pretty quiet all race. Don't like the livery. Having, like, the IndyCar liveries were better than the mashup livery they got at Monaco, so that's one thing to be disappointed by. But they did both score points, and it was a pretty safe race for them. Tsunoda drove fantastically and was very unlucky to have brake issues. Ruined his race. He really deserved points, and he again did a fantastic job in qualifying. So I was very disappointed to see him not score. Whilst Nick de Vries had a decent enough race, I think it will boost his confidence at least. He finished the race. He had a fairly decent qualifying session for him. AlphaTauri looked like they have improved, and hopefully they can carry that on into Spain, and we'll see a genuine performance from them. Hopefully Nick de Vries will score some points very, very soon. As for everyone else, there isn't really a lot to say about the rest of the field. Alfa Romeo really look off the pace. Williams don't really seem to have any pace, although I don't think this track really suits their car at all anyway. Haas had issues and they weren't great. Lance Stroll had the most Lance Stroll performance this year. Tried to go around the outside on the first lap and got crushed against the wall. Stupid move, shouldn't have done it. His fault. He made a couple of more errors during the race as well. He's been driving well this year, but this was definitely a return to Lance Stroll form. Lance Stroll form? No, Lance Stroll form. I think that's pretty much it, really. As I said, this race was not amazing, but honestly, I watched the Formula 3 and the Formula 2 as well, and those races, they had incidents, but they weren't incredible races either. And as I said, we had Formula E here. We know you can have a good race at Monaco now, and Formula 1 needs to react. It needs to make changes. It needs to just go with the times and find a way to make Monaco work for it. It's just not doing that right now. And I haven't watched IndyCar yet, the Indy 500. I've managed to stay away from spoilers, and I'm going to watch it right now, so I'm going to upload this, watch Indy 500 whilst it's uploading. And then I'll probably be back later to talk about it, because I love IndyCar right now, and it's something I really wanted to talk about, and this weekend kind of just got screwed up beyond belief. So subscribe, because that'll be coming, and you'll have that to look forward to. We have the Spanish Grand Prix this weekend, so hopefully I'll be able to do that on Sunday and not Wednesday. And I've got other motorsport things I want to talk about this week. I've got a load of Indy 500 stuff that I finished, that I didn't get to upload. I might just dump that on you this week as well. And I have other video ideas to come out over the next couple of weeks. definitely subscribe. Thank you to everyone who has. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.